Number 3 po, not only show your testimony, but also to share your testimony. Sabi nga ni Kuya Delson kanina, ito po yung tumatak sa akin, sabi niya, kahit na maliit na testimony, pero doon sa mga tao, malaking bagay na yan. Doon sa mga ririnig. Na sinabi mo, God is good, kapatid. Mabuti ang Diyos. Mabuti ang Diyos sa atin. Hindi po ba? So hindi natin alam na malaking bagay na yon na ginagawa ng Diyos doon sa taong nakarinig noon. Amen po. When you are share your testimony, kung paano kumikilos, anong kabutihang ginagawa ng Panginoon sa iyo, paano kabuti ang Diyos na meron ka, kung sino yung Jesus na meron ka, na nandyan sa puso mo. Amen po, malaking bagay na yon sa iba. Pero, amen, sa panahon po ngayon, yun na po yung din nakakalungkot, maraming mga Kristiyano, yung pinapipi. Ano po yung kaulugan na yon? Tikom ang mga bibig. Amen, para ibahagi si Jesus, di po ba? Na hindi natin nagagampanan yung pag-share natin ng testimony. Amen. Doon sa ginawa ng Panginoon sa atin. And I'm blessed for this story. Doon sa Luke chapter 13 verse 9. Nakaka-bless po yung kwento nito. It's about doon sa demon possessed, yung sinapian ng Legion. Yung mga demonyo pumasok doon sa mga swine, yung mga sa baboy. Sabi po dun sa Luke chapter 8 verse 30 to 39. Basahin po natin. Luke 8:30 to 39. 38 and 39. Sabi niya, the man who had been freed from the demons begged to go with him. So ito pong na ito, yung sinaniba, nung napalayas yung demonyo sa kanya, nag-beg siya, nakiusap siya sa ating Panginoong Hesus na sumama sa kanya to the journey. Sabi niya, but Jesus said him, umuwi ka. Saying, no, go back to your family and tell them everything God has done for you. So he went all through the town proclaiming the great things Jesus has done for him. Amen. Ang ganda nung ang ganda nung ginawa niya. Sabi niya, Panginoong Jesus, gusto kong sumunod sa iyo. Pero anong ginawa ng ating Panginoon? Go back to your family. Go back to your family. Share your testimony. Ibahagi mo kung anong ginawa ko sa iyo. Ano pong ginawa nito? Umuwi siya. Ibinahagi niya hindi lamang sa kanyang pamilya, maging sa iba-ibang lugar. Sabi niya, went all through the town, proclaiming the great things Jesus has done for him. Amen. At dito po sa kwento na ito, maraming tumanggap at nanampalataya. Dahil po sa testimony. Dahil dun sa pag-share ng testimony ng binata po na ito. Namin na sinaniban ng masama after niyang maranasan yung kabutihan ng Panginoon, naranasan kung gaano kapangyarihan si Jesus sa kanyang buhay. Ito yung binahagi niya sa iba. Tayo po kaya, are we faithful to our testimony? Faithful being witnesses of Christ? Do we guard our testimony? Do we show and do we share our testimony to others? Naisishare po ba natin sa iba? Amen. At dito po sa Luke chapter 12 verse 35 to 48. Dito po tayo magtapos dito po sa parable na ito. Luke chapter 12 verse 30 to 48. 35 to 40. 12. Sabi niya, be dressed for service and keep your lamps burning, as though you were waiting for your master to return from the wedding feast. Then you will be ready to open the door and let him in the moment he arrives and knock. The servant who are ready and waiting for his return will be rewarded. I tell you the truth, he himself will sit them, put on an apron and serve them as they sit and eat. He may come in the middle of the night or just before dawn. But whenever he comes, he will reward the servant who are ready. Are we ready? Are we ready? I mean, reward the servant who are ready. Understand this. If a homeowner knew exactly when a burglar was coming, he would not permit his house to be broken into. You also must be ready all the time, for the Son of Man will come when least expected. Tuloy po natin yung protein. Peter asked, Lord, is that illustration just for us or for everyone? And the Lord replied, a faithful, sensible servant is one to whom the master can give the responsibility of managing his other household servant and feeding them. When the master returns and finds that the servant has done a good job, there will be a reward. I tell you the truth, the master will put the servant in charge of all he owns. Verse 45. But what if the servant thinks, my master will not be back for a while, and he begins beating the other servant, partying and getting drunk? The master will return unannounced and unexpected, and he will cut the servant in pieces and banish him with the unfaithful. And a servant who knows what the master wants, but is not prepared and does not carry out those instructions, will be severely punished. But someone who does not know and then does something wrong will be punished only lightly. When someone has been given much, must be required in return. And when someone has been entrusted with much, even more will be reward. It is na connection dun po sa devotion natin dun sa book of Thessalonians, dun sa Thessalonians kanina. At dun sa last verse din na ginamit ni Sis Ems, that our labor in the Lord is not in vain. If we are truly be a faithful, amen, servant of God. Amen. God called Israel to be His nation as an ambassador, as a representative here on earth. That's why He chose Israel. Amen. Para maging ambassador niya. And to be a blessing to all the nation. That's why God called Abraham and the Israel people or the Jewish people to be a blessing to all nations. Na sa pamagitan po nila na dumaloy sa kanila yung biyaya, yung pagpapala ng Panginoon. But what happened? They failed God. Hindi po nila yon nagawa. Instead to lead instead to lead the people to God, they lead the people to the idols. They become arrogant. They become selfish. They become unfaithful. Means they fail God. And now, God chose you, chose me, and appointed you to be His ambassador. We are ambassador of Christ. Sabi mo sa katabi mo, you are ambassador of Christ. We are the representative of Christ here on earth. Tayo po yung representative ni Jesus. Kasi hindi yun nagawa ng Israel. May ibang ginamit ang Panginoon. At tayo po yun. We Gentiles. Kaya nabigay po sa atin yung mandato, yung task na hindi na nagawa ng Israel to be a blessing to the nations. Kaya tayo po yung ginamit ng Panginoon to be a blessing to all the nations. To be a faithful servant, to be His ambassador, to be His representative. of God here on earth. Amen. To share His love, to share His grace. Amen. Doon sa mga tao na nangangailangan po nito. Remember this, as a servant of God, we have this responsibility. We are accountable. Amen. Dito sa task na ito sa binigay sa atin ng Panginoon. Who we are. Hindi mo ba sino tayo, pero salamat sa Panginoon at pinili at tinawag po tayo. Pinagawa niya sa atin yung hindi nagawa ng Israel. Pinatuloy niya sa ating mga Gentiles na sila sana yung gagawa nun. Pero pinili at tinawag tayo ng Panginoon para ipagpatuloy ang layunin na ito, to be a blessing to all the nations. At meron pong dalawang bagay yung iwan ko ngayon. If we will become failure or faithful servant of God.